What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about TOSHI today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 20th day of June, and here we are at $30.45, 20 hours, 56 minutes left in the day. Moving down just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. We probably have a little bit more to go, but we're right there. We're right on the precipice of resolving this overall move down that to be fair, has lasted longer than I originally intended it to or expected it to. But who cares what my intentions or expectations are? This thing is beyond me. It's beyond any of us. It does what it wants to do. It's Toshi. Toshi, the Uncle Brian cat is what it is. If we're looking at it here from a low to a high, you have gone below the 382. A lot of cryptos, a lot of them have been showing, even the Mac Daddy Bitcoin, have been showing respect at the 0.5. You're so close to that area. It makes a lot of sense that might be where you go. If you were to go lower, you could go to the golden ratio, but I have a little bit of a problem with that because that's like a 20% drop or more, right? It's like 18% drop, maybe a 20% drop or more. I'm not anticipating that personally. I accept it as a possibility, but that's not my expectation at the moment. Just because I don't think Bitcoin's going to drop more than 4%, which would imply then that Toshi doesn't drop more than like 10% probably. Right? Maybe you do wick below the 0.5, maybe you go to 3045 perhaps. And instead of finding support at the 0.5 there, we go to a low to high here, if I can get the low on there properly. Low to high here. Right? You'd go just below the 1414 perhaps, something like that right there. Yeah, maybe you do that. Maybe you go to 3041, 3004. I don't know. Something like that could very well happen. I said 3045. You're at 3045 now. I mean 304. I read the high blue line. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Something down here. Maybe you do go to the golden ratio here, that golden ratio. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. Toshi's outperformed the average altcoin by far since the lows from April 7th. I mean, there's not many coins that from a low to a high have seen an overall growth of nearly 400%, almost a 5x. There's not many coins now that since April 7th are up over 100%. You know what I mean? I don't think, and yes, because you have pumped up more, you do stand to lose more. That's kind of how it happens, right? That's more growth equals more decay. It's just kind of how it happens naturally. But I don't think that you're going to decay that much. You're really close to an area of support, right at an area of support on the price. Here, prior resistance, here, prior resistance, here, prior resistance. Very, very key areas of support. And then, of course, that 0.5 area makes a lot of sense that you could find support here. Maybe the rest of the market moves down and you don't move down as much. I don't know, but we're going to figure that out. We'll look at the short-term stuff in a second. I just want to analyze this real quick a little bit more. While I'm here, my thoughts are clear. Golden ratio, not the 0.5. For some reason, I thought it was the 0.5. Did we find resistance at the 0.5 at all? No, we did not. Support at it, kind of. Okay, all right, yeah, that's enough. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour. That's all I really wanted to see. The 1 hour time frame here looking like it wants to go lower. You are not getting above the 60. You're rejecting it. You're getting below the 50, living there, getting into the oversold zone, looking like you want to push lower. I think today will be a red day. You're probably going to see some downside today. The volume. Let's use something with more volume. Coinbase. Yeah, the volume does agree as well. I would say that it does. So yeah, you're probably going to go a little bit lower. 1 hour RSI agrees. Let's put on some other indicators, okay? Dun, 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 dun. Rejecting the zero, coming down, building bearish momentum, coming down. Stochastics are oversold, bearish, bearish, everything's bearish. All three indicators agree. Lower it is, my friends, lower it is. And how much lower? I don't know. I would say that you're very close. But again, it could be 2% from here, it could be 10% from here, somewhere in that range. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. 4 hour time frame, bearish momentum building. No bullish divergence. Bullish divergence on the stochastics, but bearish momentum is building there. Bullish divergence on the RSI, but only as long as you have the higher low. If this 4 hour time frame or the next one closes lower before you get a green one, there's no bullish divergence, and because the RSI would take a lower low, right? No bullish divergence at that point. But even if it is, you'd just be good for a move up to like here, and then you could still go lower. Maybe you find a lower high right in this series of lower highs. Whoop, that was not the best drawn, but like that, and then you go lower. I think you're going to get into the oversold zone. You're probably going to see this onslaught. Is it going to be today? Today, Friday? Is that what it is? You're going to see it happen today. I wonder if a lot of cryptos will find their low today, and then over the weekend we reverse, or maybe continue to bleed out, and then next week I am expecting an end of month rally personally. That is my expectation. You take a low here to a high, low to high here, 3043, 3038, something in that area might make a lot of sense. 6% drop, 15% drop. I like it just below that 1414. I really do like that 3041. If not, at least 3043, right? Something around there. That makes sense to me. Okay, 3043 to 3038, probably around 3004 to 3043. You're at 3045 right now. We've already gone over the daily time frame, but not with these indicators on it. Stochastics look bearish, and the MACD is building bearish momentum as well. So it all agrees. They've got just a little bit lower to go. Have we found? No. You do. No, you don't have bullish divergence there. That's okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I've seen enough, man. I think I've seen enough to conclude that, yeah, I'm pretty convinced that you will either A, find support just below the 0.5, or maybe if I'm wrong, and instead of finding it right at the 0.5, maybe you find it right here at these closing highs, right? 3042, 3004, something like that, right around here. Or one of three options. One, the original idea that you find support right off the 0.5 stands. Bitcoin drops, for some reason it drops more than TOSHI at this point. I mean, TOSHI's dropped more overall. Just because Bitcoin drops 4% from here, and it might not. I'm doing a lot of assuming here. Maybe it doesn't. There's no guarantee that TOSHI, there's nothing that says it has to go lower. Bitcoin could go lower and TOSHI might just bounce. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to follow suit with Bitcoin. Sometimes things do diverge from Bitcoin. It does happen. It's not common. It's not the common expectation, but there's a reason why I'm saying that that's the possibility. Maybe one, we find support right at the 0.5 like we originally intended. Two, what we've decided now is that we'll find support somewhere around here between a 5% drop to a 10% drop, just below the 0.5, but not quite at the golden ratio. Or option three, and the most bearish option, the one that I think is the least likely to happen, but still has a chance, is that we go down to the golden ratio. We see something on the lines of a 3037 price to 3033 price, something in that zone there. We'll find support. It's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. If we go to the golden ratio, you guys, I would just buy more personally. I'd buy a lot more because that's a perfect retracement. Shows that there's a lot of engagement as far as trading goes, attention on it from speculators. Everybody's aware of the golden ratio, algorithms, bots, the whole thing, and you're likely going to rocket out of there as you did here. You'll rocket back up to prices above this, consolidate, and then new relative highs, and inevitably new all-time highs. I very much do expect you'll see new all-time highs for TOSHI by the end of July. Is this move going to be over? I've started to flirt with the idea that this move could extend into July or into August, but we'll see. Maybe it's broken up. Maybe the move that I was expecting originally isn't as voluptuous. Maybe it's broken up. We see a good bit of it in July. We pause for like 2 weeks and then we finish it up in August. I don't know. We'll kind of figure it out from there. But the expectation would be that we see something around, if I remember correctly, $0.045, so about just under half a cent, 0.45 cents, right? $0.0045 to about 1 cent, somewhere in there. My expectation personally is that we will stop. The next kind of notable stop, as like this kind of long of consolidation, will be at about 007. That's what I'm thinking. 007, maybe 0069, something around there. But that should be either by the end of July or maybe sometime in August. But I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you all have a great day, great night, wherever you are. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.